the debate was successful. It was so successful that not a single paper reported it. You know that? Not a single paper. There was the Times of India. There was the Indian Express. There was Mahanagar. Nikhil Wagale himself was there. There was UTI.
He's here today, Nikhil.
There were PTIs also there. No one reported. Why? Because I did not say what they wanted. If I would have said what they wanted, it would have been headlines. Islamic scholar Dr. Zakir Naik and so and so. Because I didn't say what they wanted, no report. For the full answer, the paper is available outside.
The last three questions. Is it only the husband? This is from Jennifer. It says, is it only the husband who can say triple talaq and get one? What has a woman to do if she wants to get divorce or talaq?
The sister has asked a question that a husband can divorce a woman. She has not asked about triple talaq, that's another answer. But the main question is, a husband can divorce. Can a woman also divorce? Or can she give talaq? A woman can't give talaq, because talaq is an Arabic word used for divorce when a man gives to a woman, husband gives to a wife. But a woman can divorce. There are 5 types of divorce in Islam. The first type is by unilateral agreement between the husband and wife. Both may say, okay, we aren't compatible, let's part. The second type is by the unilateral will of the husband, that's called a salah, in which he has to forego his meher. If he hasn't paid it, he has to pay it to her, and including the gifts he has given to her. Third type is by the unilateral will of the wife. I repeat, by the unilateral will of the wife, if she mentions it in her marriage contract. If she mentions it in a nikah nama, in a marriage contract, that she has the right to give unilateral divorce, she can give it. It's called as isma. I've never heard of anyone speaking about isma. It's called as isma. Even a woman can give divorce, isma. Third category is if the husband ill-treats her or does not give her equal rights, she has the right to go to a qazi and nullify the marriage. It's called as nikah-e-fask. In this, according to the qazi, he may ask the husband to give the full meher or part of the meher depending upon the qazi. And the last is kulah, that even though the husband may be a very good husband, the wife has got no complaints against the husband, but for personal reason she does not like the husband, she can request the husband to divorce her, and that's called as kulah. But very few people talk about women giving divorce to their men. Some of the ulamas have categorized these 5 types of divorce into 2 or 3 different categories. But broadly, there are 5 types of divorce in Islam. Hope that answers the question.
We would now ask 2 very short questions again from the slips, and then we'll allow a last question to Zakir to give in very brief the answer to the question, why are women not allowed in the mosque?
The question asked is, why aren't women allowed in the mosque? And in brief, it's difficult. There is no statement in the Quran or the Sahih Hadith which prevents women from entering the mosque. Some people quote a particular hadith and say the Prophet said, it is better for the woman to pray in the house than the mosque. It's better for her to pray in the house, in her inner room, than in a house. They are taking hold only of one source and neglecting all the other sources. You should realize the context of the hadith. Prophet Muhammad also said that when you pray in the mosque in congregation, you get 27 times more sawab. So a lady questioned Prophet Muhammad, we have got infants, we have got household work, how can we go to the mosque? So in reply to this, the Prophet said that if a lady prays in the house, it's better than the mosque. It's preferable for her to pray in the room than the house. Because if she has infants or problems, she will get the same sawab. There are several hadiths which indicate that women were never prevented from entering the mosque. The hadith which says that prevent not the servant of Allah who are females from entering the mosque. And the hadith says the Prophet ordained the husband that if your wife want to go to the mosque, do not prevent them. And several hadiths are there, I won't go into the details, but Islam gives permission for a woman to enter the mosque, but there are separate and equal facilities. We don't believe in intermingling of sexes. Why we don't believe? As the question was asked earlier, if we have intermingling of sexes, then as we know what happens in the other religious places, people come more for east-teasing and bird-watching than to pray. Therefore, Islam does not believe in intermingling of sexes. There are separate entrances for man and woman, separate places of wudu, ablution for man and woman. Man and woman are made to stand separately. And a woman can't stand in the front, because if a woman stands in front, but natural, the man behind will be disturbed. In Islam, when we pray, we stand shoulder to shoulder. And the medical doctors will tell us that the female has 1 degree higher temperature. If you have a lady next to you, you will feel warm and soft. Instead of concentrating on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will concentrate on the lady. That's why in Islam, the woman has to stand behind. You go to Saudi Arabia, women are allowed in the mosque. You go to London, women are allowed in the mosque. You go to America, women are allowed in the mosque. It's only in India that they're prevented, and a few countries close by. You go to the Haram Sharif, in Mecca, in Masjid Nabawi, they're allowed. But Alhamdulillah, there are few mosques in India, even in Bombay, which have started allowing women in the mosque. Hope the other mosques will follow.
Thank you. The next question.
Excuse me, I would like to ask this question, please. This question comes from a student of College of Social Work. This meeting is on women's rights in Islam. But I believe that most of the questions have satisfied our male audience. As far as practicality is involved, that is an infinite series of argument will go on if you are going to look at that.
If you could put your question, we'll try to satisfy that.
This question,
you just put your question because we have a very short time. You put your
this
question
goes to Islamic Research Foundation. I want to ask that this meeting is on women's rights in Islam, and why isn't there any single woman sitting on the stage? Why do we have male panel only on the stage? And we believe that this doesn't satisfy our female audience for whom the meeting is organized.
The sister posed the question that why aren't women sitting on the stage in this function? Because there's no woman speaker today, sister. We have programs in IF on Fridays. We have programs in organization on Friday where the lady speakers, and there the ladies speak. Here, I'm supposed to speak on the topic, and I'm a gent, alhamdulillah, I'm not a female. And the chief guest also, alhamdulillah, Justice M.M. Qazi, and the coordinator, all are men. There are programs in which females speak, and we have female speakers as well as female chief guests. Inshallah, when we have a program next time, we'll invite you for that.
The next question is, if talaq, is it necessary for the husband to take permission of the first wife before marrying the second? In brief, please.
The question poses, is it necessary for the husband to take the permission of the first wife before marrying? It is not compulsory for the husband to take the permission of the first wife before marrying, because Quran says the only reason, the only condition for a person in which he can take more than one wife is he should be just between his wives. But it is preferable that he takes the permission. And it's his duty to inform his first wife that he's marrying. Because Islam says if you have more than one wife, you have to do justice. And if the permission is given by the first wife, but natural, there will be more cordial relationship between the husband and both the wives. But it is not compulsory, except in one condition. Except in one condition. If the wife mentions in a marriage contract that I do not want you to take any other wife as long as I'm there, then it becomes compulsory for the husband to take the permission of the wife before marrying. Otherwise, in all of the cases, it is not compulsory, it's preferable.
The next question in brief, please, in one line.
My name is Yawar Hussain. When man and woman are not allowed to mingle, so as to how women were allowed to mingle in the battlefield in the past.
Brother asked the question that Islam does not allow intermingling of sexes. How come they intermingled in the battlefield? If you heard my speech correctly, brother, I said even in the battlefield, they were doing hijab. There was a slight concession given. If you read Sahih Bukhari, it said that the feet of the women were seen. Normally even the feet are covered. So Islam gives a concession that during battlefield, since women even rode horses, the feet were seen. So Islam gives little leniency, but they're going to intermingle like what they do in the American army. They had to maintain the Islamic ethics as well as the Islamic dress code.
We'll allow this as a last question. Video culture, films, songs, novels, magazine, co-education have filled the present situation with sexual anarchy. Is it recommendable in these circumstances to allow our children, especially daughters, to get married by their own free will? This is Muhammad Aslam Ghazi.
The brother asked the question that since in the world of science and technology, and we have so many films on sex, etc., is it advisable to allow the daughter to have her own free choice in marriage? I told you that the parent can surely give guidance, can guide their daughters in marriage. They can't force them. And how do you know that the parent is always right? So here Islam gives permission that the parents can guide their children in marriage, but they can't force, because it's finally the daughter who has to live with the husband, not the parent.
We'll allow a last quick one-line question from the top, and then we have the vote of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Mrs. Razia Khan. According to Muslim personal law, only the father is natural guardian of his children. Why?
So sir posed the question, according to the Muslim personal law, only father is the natural guardian. It is wrong, sister. According to Islamic Sharia, if a child in its initial stages, approximately the age of 7, if he's below the age of 7, the guardianship goes to the mother, because a mother's responsibility is more than the father's responsibility in the initial stage. After that, the guardianship goes to the father. And after he becomes matured, it is the free will of the child. He chooses himself or she chooses herself who she wants to be with. But during this course, Islam says that irrespective of the child is with the father or the mother, the child is allowed to meet with both the parents. Hope that answers the question.
I would like to thank all of you who gave in so many questions. I've yet so many questions in balance, so many people standing on the side. We're sorry we cannot continue on because of time restrictions of this hall. And we would welcome you to come to the IRF, and we would love to answer these questions in humble demeanor. I would like to say that we would have loved to answer all your questions throughout the day. There are time limitations to this hall. I thank you all. I especially thank Justice Qazi, an eminent jurist, to be present here to speak to and support our women rights program. I thank the hall management, the video team present here, and all of you present who have made this program so lively with your enthusiasm and interest. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah khair.